An Australian mission to study the Proxima Star System, Oumuamua's odd propulsion, that Leaky Soyuz, and NASA's plans to explore Titan. Plus, we take a quick dive into our week at the World Science Festival.
This is Trekzone's Talkin' Science.
This is the bite-sized podcast catching you up on the latest science and space headlines. The University of Sydney has partnered with EnduroSat to search for life beyond Earth. The mission, Ptolemy, after the ancient Arabic name for Alpha Centauri, is funded by the Breakthrough Initiatives in California and will utilise modern satellite technology to explore our galactic neighbourhood and potentially lay the groundwork for interstellar missions to the Centauri system. The collaboration is developing a custom-designed space telescope capable of extremely fine measurements that will target the Alpha Centauri system, looking for planets in the Goldilocks zone. Oumuamua, the first known interstellar object found moving through our solar system, may be propelled by hydrogen gas produced by ice reserves, according to international researchers. The previously unreconciled acceleration appears to be similar to that of comets, with observed non-gravitational acceleration likely resulting from trapped gas being released. A Soyuz capsule that sprung a coolant leak on December 14 has been cast off from the International Space Station without the crew it was meant to be taking home, due to the extreme cabin temperatures resulting from the lack of coolant. This has doubled the planned 6-month mission for the 2 cosmonauts and 1 astronaut who launched back in September. Roscosmos says a micrometeorite impact is the likely culprit, even as they continue to investigate a similar leak on a Progress capsule from February. This Soyuz isn't completely empty, however, with scientific experiments capable of withstanding the high temperatures during re-entry being loaded aboard. On April 3, we will know who the first astronauts to return to the moon will be. NASA and the Canadian Space Agency will make a joint announcement on the 3 Americans and 1 Canadian picked for this historic flight, launching no sooner than November 2024. While Artemis 2 will complete its mission by lunar orbit insertion and not landing on the surface, it'll still be the closest approach by humans since Apollo 17 in 1972. Dragonfly is gearing up for launch. The 4th in a series of groundbreaking NASA missions is slated for launch in 2027 and aimed at Saturn's moon Titan. Dragonfly follows in the footsteps of Ingenuity, the drone which has been flying about the Martian surface for almost 2 years. But it's a massive leap forward in scientific capability, because Dragonfly will be capable of analysing samples collected during the mission and not just taking photos like Ingenuity. Well, new data from the James Webb Space Telescope shows that TRAPPIST-1b doesn't have an atmosphere. But with a year that lasts only 1.5 days, being tidally locked and falling outside of the Goldilocks zone, it's not at all surprising. Initial observations of the 7 TRAPPIST-1 planets by Hubble and Spitzer showed no atmospheres on any of them. But armed with the JWST's mid-infrared instrument, researchers measured thermal emissions coming directly from the planet as it passed behind its star on 5 occasions. Their measurements revealed that daytime temperatures on 1b reached up to 257 degrees Celsius, suggesting heat is not redistributed around the planet by an atmosphere. TRAPPIST-1c is the next target to study. It cops the equivalent amount of radiation as Venus. A neutron star collision that left behind a black hole may have been the cause of a mysterious burst of radio waves in space, according to Australian researchers. The team observed 2 neutron stars colliding and a bright, fast radio burst event which occurred within 2.5 hours of each other in April 2019. Fast radio bursts are bright millisecond duration radio bursts that scientists have been tracking and studying because of their origin not being well understood. The team say that their observations of this FRB are consistent with the theory that a binary neutron star merger left behind a supermassive, highly magnetised compact object which collapsed to form a black hole and produced a fast radio burst in the process. This week we're releasing podcasts from the World Science Festival Brisbane, where I got a chance to catch up with some of the folks attending. Doctors Benjamin Pope and Jesse Christensen dropped by to chat about exoplanets, and the James Webb Space Telescope.
What's it like to be seeing these people out and about and checking everything out?
Look, honestly, I'm actually blown away. We've got all this sort of time on radio and on your podcast, booked partially to promote our talks for tomorrow. They're sold out. There's no point promoting them. And I'm actually a little bit shocked. I'm a little bit shocked, we've sold out 2 shows on James Webb and exoplanets at QPAC. They're large theatres. I'm really, humbled by the enthusiasm of Brisbane people to listen to science and talk about science.
It is very cool, Jesse. Now, you're living in LA at the moment. You're back, but you are a bit of a local as well, I believe.
That's right. I grew up in a small town just 20 minutes south of Ipswich, so it's great to be back. And Brisbane has really turned it on for the festival today. It's a gorgeous, if a little bit sticky day.
It is absolutely incredible. It's March weather. To quote a Simpsons line, I guess it's smarch weather. But James Webb, this telescope, long delayed, so many issues with it, finally launching, and we're just getting these discoveries straight away. To either of you, what's that kind of like, just to see all of that blood, sweat and tears finally pay off for everyone?
It's really incredible. As you say, it was delayed again and again and again, and at some points it was even cut entirely and had to be rescued from the cutting room floor of the budget at the White House. But it launched on Christmas Day in 2021, which was just a genuine gift for astronomers and especially exoplanet astronomers. And, since they took the first 6 months to do the commissioning, the data have just been coming down and they're just so much better than we even dreamed. And that's the really exciting part.
Dan Ellick is an investigative humorist. I asked him what that means when he stopped by for a chat.
Thanks for talking to me, an internet celebrity.
Absolutely. Now, you're a bit of a bucket list guest for me.
Does that mean like a guess you want before you die?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No plans at the moment, but just preparing for the future.
Yeah, good. Existential. Yeah.
Exactly right. Now, investigative humorist, what exactly does that mean?
It means I'm like a part comedian and part journalist. That's why I call myself an investigative humorist. I'm not going to win a Walkley. I'm not going to win a Logie. Maybe I'll win free parking somewhere, and that's all I can hope for.
That's all I'm hoping for as well. Didn't get free parking today, unfortunately, but it is what it is.
Well, when you got the Olympics coming to town, you can't afford every dollar not paid. It's every dollar wasted. Get some infrastructure in this place. Come on.
Well, we need new power, definitely, after last night's issue at the Gabba where the lights went out.
God, I saw that, but that was because the lights were on fire. So
yes.
that's different. That's kind of different. But yeah, you can't. What do they call it in South Africa? Load shedding. You can't have load shedding here in Brisbane. No, you don't want load shedding in Brisbane. You want load on all the time. Load bulking. You want load bulking.
Load bulking. I love it. Now, we are obviously here for the World Science Festival, and the Minders are off to the side there, reminding me that I have to give them a nice big plug because they brought me down here to have a chat with you. You're here for the World Science Festival as well. You've got a panel tomorrow. Tell us a little bit about that. Or tomorrow from when we're recording.
Yeah, so I do a podcast called A Rational Fear. It brings the smartest and funniest people together to talk about the scariest things in the world. We laugh in the face of fear. And tomorrow we're talking about all the incredible, interesting things around science and climate science and planet hunting and all sorts of things. Maths, I think. Maths is very scary for some people. We're going to be talking about maths. Mark Humphries is joining us. He's going to give us a quiz. I think it's about climate science. It's called Pointless, which is the name of his show that he did.
That went for a long time.
It went for a very long time, and I think that's going to be fun.
And you can't see her name on the guest list without taking the time to say g'day and chat about her 3-decade and counting career in front of the camera, teaching Aussie kids all about the natural world. Ranger Stacey stopped by in between her panels.
Thank you very much. I feel very honoured to be part of this. How exciting.
It is, the honour is mine because we say to everyone, and it's kind of everywhere in Australia, that everyone knows Ranger Stacey. I grew up with you on Totally Wild. That was, many moons ago, but not too long ago. And then I got to work at Channel 10 and got to see you around the office as well. It's just been incredible. So once again, as I said to Dan yesterday, you're a bucket list guest, but by no means the least.
Oh, stop it. No, it's been certainly a journey. I mean, you're talking about watching Totally Wild, growing up as a kid. That was back in 1992 we started. So we're talking 31 years ago this year.
Yeah.
So where does the time go? But here I am at World Science Festival 2023, Brisbane.
And you first started in 92 at like the age of 14, surely?
Of course, I was just a girl.
But there was the background there. You weren't just a TV personality, you were actually a ranger.
Yeah, that's how I started my career. As a child, I always loved getting into the outdoors and discovering and just, getting my hands dirty and climbing trees. When school finished, I thought, what am I going to do? And I heard about a course at at Gatton College, which is now part of Queensland University, became a ranger, worked in the field for quite a number of years, had the badge and the uniform to show it and to prove it, and television just kind of happened a little bit by accident for me. I never planned it, but really I have not looked back.
Some awesome interviews. Check them all out via the cards that popped up on the YouTube video, or indeed by heading to the trek.zone/WSF 2023. More members get perks. Click join under every Trekzone video to sign up and get early access and behind the scenes for less than a cup of coffee a month. For our podcast listeners, jump onto the trek.zone/support. New tiers are available. Get exclusive live streams with your favourite fan filmmakers for just a little bit more. And then for a little bit more on top of that, become a co-producer on exclusive live streams, as well as our next Star Trek fan film. Clicking thanks under Trekzone's videos enables a one-time contribution, while heading to the trek.zone/PayPal is the most direct route into this podcast budget. Nothing fancy, just my pure dedication to the network for a decade, the website for 2. Do any of them today and have my eternal gratitude. Or simply continue watching, liking and subscribing. That works too. I'm Matt Miller for Trekzone. I'll see you in the comments.